don't want wind and we don't want solar because they're a blight on our country. They hurt our country very badly, and smart countries don't use it.
We're not going to be able to meet the needs of industry, and we're going to see higher prices for consumers. We already see higher prices.
Governor J.B. Pritzker last week talking about the energy impact of the One Big Beautiful Bill, and yesterday, President Donald Trump saying that they don't want wind or solar. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop, and pull out your utility bill. It's going up, and that's pretty much the case across the state and in other areas of the country as well. And who's responsible for that increase? Is it just inflation, or is it energy policy? Is it a over-reliance on wind and solar that's not fully developed and that costs a lot of taxpayer subsidies? Or is it because we are closing coal-fired power plants, a policy that Illinois has in place over the next 10 to 15 years? So there's a lot at play here when it comes to energy costs. Let's get to the bottom of it here with Illinois in Focus Daily. Again, I'm Greg Bishop. Join us each and every weekday morning for the live program. Join the live chat. But you can also get the headlines in your inbox. Go to thecentersquare.com. Let's pull up the story again at thecentersquare.com, where you can see all of the headlines, including what's going on nationally. But you'll see here, Trump slams wind and solar. Pritzker predicts big bill increase. Energy costs, and the back and forth has all about the provisions of the big beautiful bill. What it does is it scales back tax incentives for certain types of energy like wind and solar. But before the bill's enactment, Governor J.B. Pritzker he shared his thoughts about how this is going to impact a state like Illinois with policies like the Clean Energy Jobs Act, with focus on investing even tax credits and subsidies to wind and solar companies and making it easier for them to start up and have their projects in Illinois.
But we'll see thousands of people lose their jobs in Illinois as a result of what they're passing. And that's just in the energy space, I might add. So I'm concerned about our ability to meet the goals that I think many of us have for the country, let alone for the state of Illinois.
So the policies in the big beautiful bill getting less reliance on wind and solar, has Pritzker worried that the policies of dollars not coming to Illinois wind and solar from the federal government could possibly lead to some job losses. Just how much is MISO, which is the one of the two energy grids that is managed in Illinois? They have a breakdown here of all of the different types of energy sources that are available on Illinois' grid. Coal makes up 32.4% as of now. Natural gas, 36.5%. Nuclear, 13.8%. Wind, 2.1%. Solar, 8.7%. And then you've got other and imported energy, 5.4%. So that just gives you an idea of the impacts wind and solar currently have on the state's energy grid, at least for the MISO region. There's also the PJM region. And that kind of breakout of energy use of the different forms of energy that Illinoisans are using to keep their air conditioner on in a heat spell, or to keep their sump pump on after heavy rains. The governor talks about how this bill is going to impact energy costs, and with fewer dollars going to wind and solar, he says that's going to be a problem.
We're not going to be able to meet the needs of industry, and we're going to see higher prices for consumers. We already see higher prices. That, by the way, is in part has come about because of the organization of of PJM and MISO, and their inability to bring on all of the projects that have actually already been built but need to be plugged in, interconnected into our grid, and they've fallen way behind.
So Pritzker blaming it on the grid managers, not on his policies to end coal-fired power plants by a date certain. Here's what PJM said in May. They said, PJM is a revenue-neutral organization with no profit motive. We are fully regulated by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC. Our primary purpose is to keep the lights on and provide value to customers. Part of how we maintain reliability in electric service is by competitively procuring power across our footprint to meet a forecasted demand for electricity. This is getting more expensive, and the reason is very simple. Supply is decreasing on the system and demand is increasing. This is happening not just in PJM, but all over the country. Supply is decreasing due primarily to state and federal decarbonization policies and some economics. And that right there is just an indication of the policies that the state has implemented and the policies that the Biden administration had implemented. They say demand is increasing due to the proliferation of data centers and the race for AI advancement, along with electrification and the onshoring of U.S. manufacturing. So you've got Trump tariffs saying, hey, make it in the U.S. and you won't get tariffed. That's going to onshore more manufacturers, increasing the demand necessary for energy producers to meet. And PJM goes on to say an increase in demand is a very good thing for the U.S. economy, but existing supply is being pushed off the system before replacement resources are in operation, and this is creating a spike in pricing and long-term could compromise grid reliability, resulting in possible service interruptions for families and businesses. The record will reflect that PJM has been warning of this impending supply-demand imbalance for years now, even prior to the AI race. In order to shift the blame of these price spikes, PJM is being accused of an unwillingness or an inability to connect new renewable resources, some people may say they're not reliable, to the grid. PJM reformed its processes in 2022 so that it would safely and more efficiently connect many of the smaller renewable resources to the grid. We have a decision with the FERC to prove it. Organizations informing politicians about the issue are knowingly propagating a fallacy, producing studies funded by unknown entities with outlandish assumptions and conclusions to push blame to our organization. The fact is that PJM has been processing hundreds of these projects through our study processes and will continue to do so. These resources are welcome additions to the grid, but are currently having their own challenges in construction, like supply chain, state permitting, and financing. We should be helped. We should be helping these developers to solve these issues so that they can put the steel in the ground more expeditiously. The power grid is a machine governed by the principles of engineering, mathematics, and economics. Policy, even well-intended, has to be grounded in these principles, shifting blame to a profit-neutral grid operator who cares deeply about its mission to keep the lights on. One way to approach this issue, but consumers deserve better. PJM, they say that they'll continue to do everything in their power to work with the states, including Illinois, to help address what has become a national issue to keep the lights on and try to do it cost effectively for families and businesses. Long statement there, but that's after PJM had been chastised in other reports, and even the governor continuing to blame the energy grid managers for the costs, not for the costs being driven by the policies the governor has enacted to get rid of the coal-fired power plants. And here's the breakdown of that law, according to the Illinois Department of Environmental Protection. The electric generation units, large greenhouse gas emitting units, these are various things that are going to have to be knocked down to zero no later than January 1st, 2045. That is less than 10 years from now. Then you've got zero emission deadlines for some by 2030. That's 5 years from now. So you can go through and see this yourself as far as all of the different things and the timelines of shutting down these base load operators. President Donald Trump saying this is changing. It's all being reversed with the big, beautiful bill. He says they don't want solar, they don't want wind, they want base load generation.
It's tremendously expensive. And it can only be done with subsidy. I know a man that's in that business, and one of the biggest in the world actually runs a company that builds these stupid windmills. And he said, I hate the business because it's the only energy where you need subsidy. He said, energy shouldn't need subsidy. You should make money with energy. So when the other one is the solar, those big solar fields, they're taking our farmland. Our farmers are like mortified by it. They hate it. It's very, very inefficient.
Very inefficient, he says, and he also talked about it being ugly and just the overall costs of all of it when it comes to wind and solar. But he says they don't want any of that. They want natural resources, clean coal, natural gas.
Yeah, look, China right now is building 58 coal-fired plants, 58 big ones. They have 62 on the books to build. We've reintroduced clean, beautiful coal, because you can do a lot with coal now. Clean, beautiful coal, and natural gas, and all of the other things that we have. But we don't want wind, and we don't want solar, because they're a blight on our country. They hurt our country very badly, and smart countries don't use it.
How it's all going to impact your energy costs, we'll be watching. But some warning, Trump's bill is going to increase costs. Trump saying it's going to unleash American energy dominance and will actually end up saving people money. We'll see which way is it going to go. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell here on YouTube each and every weekday morning with The Center Square. But get to thecentersquare.com and sign up for the headlines in your inbox each and every weekday morning. It is Illinois in Focus Daily.